You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Glee After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Glee After Show.
Yes.
The song, just like the best performance.
So good.
Rachel and Finn, we got so much of it tonight.
I know it's late.
This could just be our show,
I
right?
know. We just want to sing along. And
Yep.
Marissa,
Just this.
want to take a turn? No?
I would if I don't want to embarrass myself.
Understandable. Well, we should say that Bing is for doing, and we're here doing another Glee after show. Oh, see, we got
All right, there you go,
we
there
got
you
a
go.
little note from Marissa. It's great. We're in season 4, episode 14, called I Do, but maybe should have been called I Don't.
More, yeah, no.
Yes. I'm Stephanie Wenger,
Hi, everyone. I'm Marisa Serafini.
and we have a small team tonight, but we're excited to be here, and happy Valentine's Day to everyone. This is the Valentine's Day episode of Glee this year, and lots of changes, kind of the antithesis of the breakup happening.
All right. Oh, my goodness. Totally opposite, which I think is just something all of us Glee fans really wanted this whole season. We just wanted everyone to just get back together just for maybe not like forever, but just a small amount of time just to please us again, you know?
I think, well, I'm in the camp that I want Finn and Rachel to be together forever, and we know that from this episode that may or may not be the case. It's looking more like may not, but you never know. There's some secrets that are
All right.
coming out, but we'll talk about them in a little bit. We should jump into the center of all of this, why they were all back at McKinley, which is Mr. Shu's wedding and Finn being the best man.
Yeah, that's really cute, and I like how the Finn is the best man because he really is like the younger version of Will, so it really just makes sense that he fills that role.
Yeah, it really does. He doesn't feel like he's 1 year out of high school to me anymore, though. He's definitely grown up fast in the last, 9 months or so since he graduated.
Yeah, and he speaks like an adult too, and he's thinking rationally, and he's coming up with all these more mature decisions on how to approach situations.
Absolutely. And we should say why I said I don't is that Emma and Mr. Shu, they're dealing with all of this drama because, as you remember, Finn and Emma kissed in the last episode, and he feels kind of okay about it. We see him discuss it with Rachel a little, but she's freaked out and says, "You've made me lie to my husband-to-be. This is, a big mistake," and she's panicking over wedding plans. And right before her wedding, she truly panics and runs.
Literally runs.
Runs away from
Runaway
her.
bride.
Yeah, I mean, it's so stereotypical of what you see on TV shows. It reminded me of One Tree Hill has had a runaway wedding. Lots of shows, this is the way they go. But I wanted Emma and Mr. Shu to actually tie the knot.
Right, because we've seen this relationship go on and off all since season 1, and we finally wait for the episode where they actually tie the knot, and it didn't happen. That's really disappointing.
Yeah. Do you have any hope for them getting back together? Do you think that this is the end for them?
I think so. It's not like, yes, Finn did have a momentary lapse with Emma, and there was a kiss there, but I don't think that was enough to completely ruin a relationship. I think it was just Emma, just literally her OCD was coming to her and getting the best of her, and she was getting too overwhelmed, and she just ran away out of pure nervousness and panic. I don't think there was an external force that would drive a complete wedge between them. They do still have true love for each other.
I want them to, be together and have that happily ever after, but I feel like at some point they've had so many what ifs and times where it could have worked out and it never does for them. Their timing always seems to be off, that I question whether they're meant to be together, I guess, at this point, because I felt like this was finally it. They were gonna do it, and they had this big engagement with the pool and all of that, and then they just couldn't make the wedding happen, and so that kind of bummed me out.
Yeah, and the engagement episode was the Valentine's episode last year, last season.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that the Valentine's episode this season would be the wedding one, but there's hope. I still think that they can get back together.
I mean, I always have hope. I start to question because it doesn't feel like it necessarily will. But Mr. Shu also, it came back for the Glee Club. It became clear that it was not just to get married. He's back from D.C. where he was working on educational initiatives, and he's there he wants to take the Glee Club all the way to nationals, and it looks like at the beginning of the episode he's gonna kick Finn to the curb a little bit. Like, it didn't look like he was necessarily going to be as involved in the Glee Club, and then by the end of the episode we see that in fact there will be a partnership between the coaches. I'm interested to see if there will be friction though between them.
Yeah, maybe. I actually think that since both of them are working together in partnership, that the Glee Club would be stronger. There are 2 leaders now, and there's more solidarity, and I think that they'll just be a stronger team altogether that will go to nationals. So I think their partnership will actually help the team and benefit them.
It's true. Well, Valentine's Day and their wedding kind of became an excuse for, as we said, all of these mix-ups in the couples. Couples getting back together. It was really more getting back together than breaking up. We didn't really have a lot of couples splitting up tonight. They wanted to make a happy Valentine's Day episode, obviously, rightfully.
Which is good.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to give us something. They gave us a heartbreaking episode, and now they got to give us a heartwarming episode.
Exactly. How tragic would it be if the breakup was the Valentine's Day episode? Just thought of that. Like, I would be devastated. That's the worst way to spend your Valentine's Day. So I'm happy that this episode definitely was more, that happy tone to it.
Happiness. This would be a completely different after show if it was that kind of episode, just everyone.
We were close to tears, if you recall, for the breakup episode. I think it was the 2 of us again.
Yes, it was.
And we were near tears. Anyways, so
we were in tears, but we kept it together that episode.
We pulled it back. It's okay. But Ryder pulls out all the stops. Actually, excuse me, Jake pulls out all the stops, but with Ryder's help.
Yeah.
And he is trying to win Marley over and, make her, I guess, more into him. I'm not sure what I would say. He wants to go all the way with her. That's what we quickly learn, and he'll do anything, any romantic gesture to get there. But he has no idea how to do romance, and he leans on Ryder to find out Marley's favorite flowers. I think he gets a necklace from Ryder to give to Marley.
Which I thought was interesting how Ryder just happened to have that in his pocket. Makes me wonder if he was actually planning on giving it to Marley later that night.
Well, I mean, we kept getting all of those long glances and throughout the episode where you were just you knew that he had feelings for Marley, that Ryder was just hiding what he truly felt. And also, what guy notices your favorite flowers if he's not interested in you? That's a hard one to be I know all of my friends' favorite flowers.
Yeah. But the reason why Jake was asking for Ryder's advice was because he originally asked his brother Puck, and he gave all the wrong advice, or not the best advice and best way to approach a girl, because Puck turns out to be a bit abrasive and upfront.
Yeah.
That might be a little bit of turn off, and I don't think Jake's that kind of person. So it makes sense that Jake went to Ryder instead for that romantic advice.
Well, we all know that Puck has kind of this crazy history with the girls. Girls seem to fall for him, but he doesn't treat them well. It's not about how good of a boyfriend he is to these women. It's
Right.
all about, I don't know, his appeal, what have you, that seems to get the girls. Like, when he's actually with them, he's pretty not so nice to them, really.
No, he doesn't treat them well.
No.
Not the best way, at least.
And I like the fact that Jake is trying. I mean, it does take effort to go to your friend and, you know, be like, oh, what should I do? I mean, maybe it's not the most creative thing you've ever seen, but he's trying in his own way.
Yeah, and I think this is Jake's first real romantic relationship. Yes, he may have dated a lot of girls, but this is the one that's really serious. He's taken it to heart, and he really, really does love Marley in that way and wants to, put out all the stops for her and actually, do all these romantic gestures.
Which I thought was really, it's sweet in some ways. It's very high school to, like, go to your buddy and ask, what should I do?
Yeah. It would have been nice to see him actually, come up with his own.
True, I agree. But I felt bad for Ryder throughout the episode. I just wanted him to be that person who goes up to her and actually says it. And he does in the end. But I wanted it sooner. Like, I wanted him to hand her the flowers. And I don't know. There's been that love triangle all season. And I think it's still going to go. It seems like it's raging as a triangle at this point.
Oh, yeah. Now it's getting there. And I think the bromance is going to split a little bit.
Yeah.
Definitely taking a turn.
Exactly. And it'll be interesting to see if when and how Jake finds out about that kiss that Ryder and Marley had at the lockers, which
I thought Jake was going to see that. I mean, they're out in the hall.
Yeah.
And with high school, if you're making out with someone, usually someone else sees, and then they go tell someone else, and somehow it all goes back to the person you don't want finding out.
Especially at the lockers. That's just a place where it's not like they were, somewhere where it was a little more private in a car or anything like that. It was just, like, out there
in the open.
for everyone to see. But let us know what you think. Should Marley choose Ryder or Jake? You can go to iTunes and rate and comment on our show and tell us what you think of any Glee theories out there, what you think of all these relationships rekindled. It was a big episode for that. So, yeah, head over to iTunes and let us know. We love reading your comments, and it helps us make a better show. So
yeah, it was a great episode, too.
Let
us know how you think about this episode.
Yeah, it's a really fun one tonight. Blaine and Kurt, that's another rekindled relationship. Well, I don't know. I feel like I want to call it rekindled because they're half rekindled. Like,
yeah, halfway there.
Yeah.
I don't think Kurt's into it as much.
Well, yeah, he's going back to New York. He wants his New York life. I mean, he fought so hard for that. And he fought to get into NYADA and live with Rachel and all of this. And he's not going to go and have a small town life even for a year with Blaine while he, Yeah,
and he even said multiple times, like, we are just friends, and that is it. And he's, putting down his foot. And yes, Blaine did cheat on him, but I think he's still, hurt from that, and he just wants that relationship, but I don't think his heart is into it. Even in the Christmas episode when Blaine came back for Kurt in New York, it looked like Kurt was happy, but it didn't seem like he was fully embracing the fact that Blaine is back in his life.
Yeah, I feel like Blaine has so much regret over cheating on Kurt that he can't let go of the relationship. He wants to be with him, and maybe it's because it's like his first love. There's a million reasons why he could want this relationship to work, and I'm a big fan, we know, of Kurt and Blaine and that relationship, but I feel like right now it's going to be tough until Blaine graduates to have any sort of real relationship.
I agree, because they're still not in the same position. Blaine is still in high school. There's still a little distance between the two, and they're just not on the same page in life.
Yeah, but it was funny. I feel like that's like they so went with the stereotypical thing before the wedding, hooking up, or like making out in the car, and then hooked up after the wedding, I should specify. But I mean, it was very funny that I was like, oh, such a stereotype, but so Glee to pull it off.
And I gasped because we saw Kurt making out with someone, and then when they revealed it was Blaine, I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I know.
Blaine.
We thought, well, for a minute I thought he like brought his New York boyfriend
Mm-hmm.
to McKinley, and I was like, that's a fast move, but I could see it happening. Kurt's really into him. That makes sense. But no, and Blaine really, really wants this relationship to work, and he looks really upset when he's left in the hotel room, and Kurt kind of leaves and is like, okay, I'll meet you. I think I'll meet you downstairs.
Meet
is what?
me downstairs. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Kurt's really into it.
I
Not as much as he used to, when they were first together.
No, I mean, definitely their honeymoon stage is long over at this point.
Definitely.
They've been through a lot together, and I hope that it works out. I kind of want all these relationships to work out. I
think right now they're only that friends with benefits kind of relationship.
I know it's tough to watch that, because I think that's exactly what Kurt kind of views it as, is this, like, it's fun, it's easy, we know each other, great, where Blaine wants that deeper connection.
Yes. And he's over the moon with Kurt.
Yeah.
I think he's so happy that Kurt's finally, back in his life, and he thinks that everything's okay, but I don't think it is.
Yeah, and Blaine definitely is not the only one who's upset by this kind of where their relationship is. We see Tina really freak out for a second.
She's mad.
She confronts Kurt about how he's treating Blaine, and he turns around and calls her, that I think hag. Yeah, which I was like, whew, that's big words for Glee here.
But good for Tina, she's sticking up for herself again.
Yeah.
I think after that diva episode, she can approach anyone with attitude. I think she's at that point where she'll just say anything, and that's on her mind. She wants to get it out, and she wants to be heard. Good for her.
Yeah, I mean, I really like that we're seeing a stronger character from her, even though she's making mistakes and maybe, liking the wrong guy, or liking a guy who obviously will never like her back. But I like that she's trying to, like, step out of her comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's kind of what high school's all about, is figuring out what you like, dislike, all of that.
And I love how Kurt was like vapo rape. What was that?
Oh yeah, it was like, you vapo raped my ex-boyfriend, and I was just like, wow, Glee writers, like, that's one of those things where it's from the writers' room at like 1 a.m. They were like, what are we gonna call this? Vapo raped. Like, that's hilarious, and such a Glee thing right there. Like,
yeah,
perfect.
That was good.
It was like one of those, just like, oh, okay. Yeah, and then the other most shocking relationship of the night.
Oh my goodness.
Quinn went from, let's all remember, she had a baby with Puck.
Yes.
In high school. Now exploring her sexuality, and became Santana's, I don't know what to call this. One night stand.
It looks like it.
Potentially more, because she was like, maybe we should do this again, and I don't know. I'm not sure where she kind of, Quinn says, oh, it's only gonna be the one time, like, this was fun, but like, no,
that was it.
Yeah, and
sure,
I don't think that's gonna be, or it's gonna become some other thing between them that, like, like that kind of thing where they remember it, and I don't know, I feel like there's gonna be friction in some way.
But they were also drinking, because they had the fake IDs, so Santana and Quinn were, there was alcohol involved, and that's usually not good.
No.
When that happens.
It's always a montage. There was like a montage of bad decisions tonight.
Right. But ever since Santana and Quinn slapped each other in the Thanksgiving episode, they've actually gotten along better. I think there's more understanding. And tonight's episode, they were together just talking, and then they really progressed from friends to really good friends.
Yeah, because they were dancing together, and Quinn kind of says, oh, I've never danced with a girl like slow danced with a girl before. Mm-hmm. And we were both looking at each other just being like, is this happening on Glee right now?
Yeah, we literally looked at each other and we were like, what is going on?
Yeah, completely. Just one of the craziest things, and came out of left field for me. I would have never, ever guessed that. If you had me write down every prediction I have for the show, and there are many all the time, I would have never written that one down.
I would never have put Quinn and Santana together, because both of those girls, they're so strong-willed women, and they're both, the alpha females, and two alpha females together. I just didn't picture it. And plus, we always saw Santana with Brittany, and I never considered throwing Quinn in that loop.
Yeah, and it's interesting that we don't see Santana particularly upset when Brittany and, I just wanted to call him Cord, Brittany and Sam are dancing together and being together. They're kind of having their happy honeymoon stage.
Right.
And then Santana is kind of into Quinn and seeing what this is all about. And it's interesting, both, like, I could see why they're connecting, though. They've known each other forever. It's kind of the same thing as Blaine and Kurt, known each other forever. There's something there, but...
And I think maybe both of them, Quinn and Santana, maybe they're lonely. And she said, I believe Quinn said, the experimental phase, or this is what females experiment. And maybe another thing was, like, they're both freshmen in college, which is usually, I guess, when experimenting goes on. So maybe coincidentally that's happening.
It's crazy. I think we've waited for the best, well, no, maybe not the best, but my favorite storyline of the night.
Oh, I kept looking at you and I was like, oh, she's freaking out right now. Like,
yeah, I mean,
crazy, going crazy.
Every Finchel fan was dying tonight.
Right.
Rachel and Finn, from the first scene, reunited tonight. Or chatting more than we have all season, I feel like, with them, because they've been pretty separate. We've seen them have, like, phone conversations, but not really
they were
together.
Actually sit down talking to each other, and then there was that moment where Rachel actually, like, puts her hands on Finn's face, and she's like, look at me, and I'm like, oh, what is going on?
Yes, and I thought it was great, though. I know we talked about last week, would Finn admit to her that, he did in fact kiss Emma, and that was where we started in the episode, was that he is outright with her and says, you know what, this happened, and Rachel immediately asks back, which says so much. Well, did she kiss you back? And he was like, no, and that she freaked out. But, I mean, it was clear from the get-go that Rachel still cares about him, I felt like.
Yeah, I think they'll always have that mutual respect for each other, and plus, true love, but I think they're both at the place of understanding, and yes, we had our breakup, but now they're just adults talking to one another.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I think that what's really great about them is that they are that first love. I think everyone has someone that they go back to. Like, I mean, at least most people I know, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, when you go home, you're like, oh, is this still a thing? Like, I don't know. It's a big question mark, and I love that they're portraying that on the show so well. But I loved their duet. We'll talk about it in songs in a few minutes, but so good. And that kind of leads, Rachel catches the bouquet. And
I love how I don't know if she really caught it. It was more so, it was just thrown to her, and she just happened to catch it. She just was in the correct spot at the right spot, right time.
I agree. Yeah, it
didn't look like she really tried. It just went to her.
It allows Finn and her to have this conversation where he compares relationships to flowers. Which was way deeper than we've ever seen Finn be before. I feel like Finn was very superficial in high school and never really got to that, like, deep place where he was talking about the meaning of relationships, and I love that he goes, like, she loves me not, and he says that she's not single because she's living with Brody, and that's an interesting definition. I think everyone would have a different answer to that. When you're living with a guy, I guess you're not single technically, but I don't know, it's hard to, like, define that marriage versus I
liked his comparison, his analogy with flowers in a relationship. You have to take care of it, let it and nurture it, and let it grow, and then, really care for something to grow and get better.
I just love the fact that they're both
so romantic.
So sweet, and just, like, one of the sweetest, I feel like, scenes from this season, for sure.
Yeah, and as he got deeper into the conversation, they kept moving closer and closer and closer together.
No, and you just wanted that
And
kiss.
it's like holding your breath.
Yeah, I mean, just one of those things where I feel like we've waited so long for it. Even when they were performing together, we were just like, they have such good chemistry. Like, how long has it been since we've seen them together? Crazy. And then
Especially sing together, too. And just gotta say, the flyer, when he was picking it, the last petal was "She Loves Me," but she doesn't pick it. He doesn't pick it. Rachel comes back into the frame and she picks it.
I know. So sweet. Just love.
She loves him.
Yeah.
She loves him.
I mean, such a good Valentine's Day episode.
So good.
Yes, absolutely. And then it kind of made me sad for a second, though, when, they got together in the hotel room, and then she leaves him, and he's still sleeping. And I was just like, do you want to go back to your New York life? Mm-hmm. I had so many questions about why she would, because he clearly still loves her. So why is she leading him on, or is she leading him on? I wasn't really sure.
I think she still loves him too, because she doesn't just gets up and leaves. She actually, kisses him on the cheek, then leaves.
Yeah.
If she wasn't really into it, I don't think she would have done that little act before she left.
It's true. And it was interesting when she went back to New York, Brody kind of confronts her and says, hey, did you see Finn? And she says, yeah, I saw Finn, but doesn't tell him the whole story at all.
She left out key details.
But she's not the only one with a secret. Brody's like, oh, I sat at home and I didn't do anything on Valentine's Day. I just wanted to be with you. And in fact, there's a quick flash of him leaving what appears to be a hotel room with a wad of cash. So
is he a male escort?
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I mean, I'm guessing that's what they were trying to get at, but I was just like, let there be another solution to this, whatever that is. I mean, generally leaving a hotel room with a wad of cash doesn't leave a whole lot of options, but so it'll be interesting to see how Rachel handles all of that.
Plus, Brody did mention that Rachel was kissing differently.
Yeah, so he knows.
He noticed something was going on.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see if he figures out the Finn situation. And things are coming to a head for Rachel. As we saw at the very tail end of the episode, that she is late, took a pregnancy test. So whose baby is it? Is she pregnant? All these questions that we have 3 weeks to wait for an answer for.
Another 3 weeks.
I know.
It's killing us.
I think it's March 7th we're back, talking about all of Glee craziness. It's just intense. But in the meantime, you can go to AFTERBUZZTV.com and pick up an amazingly cute mug like this. We also have ones with spoons that are my personal favorite. There are baby onesies and t-shirts and all sorts of good things that you can pick up on AFTERBUZZTV.com. And also, you should totally check out in theaters Serial Buddies, which is coming out, and it stars Maria Menounos and Beth Bears from Two Broke Girls, who both ladies super funny and great. I actually haven't seen the movie yet. I've checked out the trailer, and I think it looks amazing. I can't wait to see it, but I know Marissa has seen the movie.
I have seen a screener. It is hilarious. There are a lot of funny movie references in it, which I love, and plus, it's like, keep making this comparison, it's like Dexter meets Dumb and Dumber. Gosh. And who doesn't love those shows and TV show and movies? And it's great. It's so funny.
Yeah, and
must watch.
It's out in March in select cities. I think
March 8th.
March 8th. It's San Francisco, LA, New York,
Chicago, and Boston.
And Boston. I was gonna get all of them. I actually remembered.
There you go.
So it's great. I'm so excited to see it, and I know you should definitely check out the trailer at www.serialbuddies.com. Am I right about that? Yes. Serialbuddies.com, and you can follow them on Twitter at serial_buddies. And now we can finally talk about songs. This episode had great songs in it. Starting with
they're all good.
You're all I need to get by. And I liked this song.
It was cute.
It was cute. It took me a minute to realize it was Marvin Gaye, and with Jake and Marley singing it, with a little assist from Ryder there. Mm-hmm. It was cute. I didn't know if I loved it. It wasn't my favorite of the night. For
No,
sure.
and usually I think with the first numbers in Glee, it's usually bigger, more. There's more, entertainment in the big numbers, at least for the first number of the night. And this just seemed like a simple number,
Yeah.
just to slowly ease into.
Yeah, I wanted some like super romantic Valentine's Day song, and I don't know why that was where my head went, but that's just what I was looking for. But I still liked it, and I like the chemistry between Jake and Marley, and having Ryder there, and that was kind of that first time we got those looks of like, I'm definitely into Marley. Hi, like,
Right.
don't forget about me.
I gotta admit, Blake I keep calling him Blake Ryder. In this particular number, I think he purposely ruined the surprise. He's like, "Oh wait, Jake, you're doing a number? I had no idea." Which clearly he does. But if you really wanted to make it a surprise, you wouldn't fake, tell that you knew.
Yeah, it's true.
And I didn't like that, honestly.
I know it felt a little
Like
undermining the situation.
he didn't need to fake the fact that he already knew about it.
Yeah, completely. But getting on to the next song, we kind of were like, did they originally write this for Glee? It's called Getting Married Today, and it's Emma and Mr. Shu and Mercedes, who we have not heard from in a bit here. The singing was amazing.
Oh my goodness, so fast paced. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, and the song is actually from Company, the
Right.
musical. I have not seen it yet, but I am dying to now because I loved the song.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
So well done.
it was a lot of fun. That was a great one.
It was great singing because that was a really fast paced song. That felt like a Flow Rider
Yeah.
kind of, holy crap, what are they saying? They're singing it way too fast.
Exactly, and I was just like, wow, this is a lot going on in the song, but Mercedes still can do no wrong in
Yeah,
my eyes. She's fantastic.
She was awesome.
Good singer there. And then Just Can't Get Enough, and this was Blaine, Kurt, Brittany, and Marley all singing together. I kind of liked that they mixed up the pairs tonight a little bit. Like, we didn't get so much of the exact same pairings that we always have of, like there were some of those, but
Yeah.
Blaine and Kurt and Brittany, like, you don't always get those three together.
It was a nice mix, especially because all the relationships kind of got mixed up tonight, too. So
Yeah.
I think that, just reflected on what was going on in the episode. So it was nice to see all of them in different pairings that we're not used to.
Yeah, and this is such a fun song to begin with. It's Depeche Mode, and just a great kind of
Just a fun
number.
number.
fun number, nice like energy in the number, and kind of fit with this like wedding reception. I feel like there's always those kinds of songs at wedding receptions.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to see everyone dance a little bit more.
Yeah,
I admit.
I know it felt a little like I wanted a kind of a prom feeling to it. You remember
Yeah.
the prom episodes where they just like could not stop dancing?
Right.
That's really what I was looking for out of this. And then my favorite, I said it at the top of the show, we've got tonight, Finn and Rachel.
This current song is on the screen right now for everyone who's
Yeah.
listening.
It's
It's
so
on the screen.
so
So good.
so good, and such good chemistry. We mention it all the time, but Rachel, Leah Michelle, and Finn, Corey Monteith, are a real life couple, and I felt like for the first time we kind of saw that chemistry on screen, that they were really cute together. And I like her new style on stage too. I feel like we see it a lot in rehearsals in New York and things like that, but kind of to have her back with Finn and see the like new style that Rachel has, the hot pink dress, was really cute.
And I think Finn and Rachel were really singing to each other.
Absolutely.
They meant every single word to each other. And then at the end of that number, we see all the different couples go into different hotel rooms.
I know. And I literally had to write down like each couple and then what happened to them. And
We got tonight. They got tonight.
yeah, exactly. I was just like, what a perfect song choice. I mean,
Perfect. And plus, with Bob Seger, you can't go wrong.
yeah, exactly. And we ended the night with a fun one. It's been all over the radio. Ellie Goulding's Anything Could Happen. She actually just performed here in LA this week at a small theater called the Palladium. And that I heard it was a great show, so a lot of my friends went to it, so that's really fun. And I liked this version of her song.
It sounded good, and all of them, it was nice to. I thought it was interesting how they weren't wearing red, because we see when a lot of times when they're on stage together, they're wearing, like, I thought they were going to wear red, particularly for Valentine's Day, but
Right.
they were all wearing, like, purple and blue, which I thought was an interesting choice.
I felt like I actually liked that. I noticed it too because I thought like, oh, you're gonna go stereotypical Valentine's Day, the pinks and reds, and I kind of thought it was nice. It was something different, and they looked good in that color, and it worked on stage for them. So.
Yeah, and can we mention the fact that Ali Stroker was in this episode?
Yes, we
Yeah.
can. I mean, Ali Stroker, Glee Project Season 2.
Yes, I
She-
saw her name in the credits. I was like, what? She's in this episode? No way.
And she had a sweet moment with, well, it didn't start out so sweet. I should, but she was kind of, Artie and her are both in wheelchairs, and she's like, just because I'm in a wheelchair, like, you're not gonna get with me just because of that. Like, I'm popular, I'm captain of the cheerleaders at my high school, and then you see her kind of melt a little when he asked her to dance, and
Right.
they end up being together, and he asked for her number at the end of the episode.
Like, I'm taking you out on a date.
Yeah, and he's like, you've never been with anybody like me. And I was just
Right.
like, that's adorable. I love his confidence. That's one
Yeah.
of my favorite things about that character.
And I loved her character because I just know her from Glee Project, and she was one of the sweetest people to watch, and to see her come, like, have this character introduced as really upfront and, you know, with her words and just like foot and mouth kind of person. She'll just say anything that she wants, and I thought that was a really interesting twist to her character.
Yeah,
A nice introduction.
I'm hoping to see, we'll talk about it in predictions, but I'm hoping to see much more of that couple as well. I think it's a fun one, and he deserves somebody. I feel like it's been a while since we've had him have a solid relationship, so it would be nice to see that
It'd be
blossom
cool.
a little bit.
And she actually is in a wheelchair in real life, so I think that'd be actually
right.
a nice character foil for Artie. And can we also mention Sue a little bit?
Oh yes, I went through their wedding quickly here.
Oh,
Sue, she legitimately will stop at nothing. She dresses in the exact same wedding dress as Emma tonight, and then when Emma runs off, she walks up the aisle like she is the bride, and I was just like, who would do that? It was actually a moment where I was just like, oh, come on, Glee, like a little bit of realistic whatever. I couldn't get behind it tonight. I don't know how you felt.
I thought it was interesting how they always played the habanero song, but every time we saw Sue, like, it was not good. She showed up at, like, the wrong moments that, like, oh, what is she gonna do? She's gonna ruin it. But I thought it was interesting how Sue was the one who told Will that Emma left.
Yeah, I hope for him that he either can get her back or he moves on. I don't want it to linger in this will they, won't they any longer.
I think I'll save that for predictions.
Yes. So we should probably get into some news and gossip here.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Do you remember Kurt's father? Mike O'Malley plays Kurt's father.
Yes.
So
You love Bert.
I know, he's so amazing. So he actually just got cast in the NBC comedy Welcome to the Family. It's going to be a single cam comedy that's focus is on the colliding world between a white family and a Latino family who are bonded together by their children who fall in love. So that'll be an interesting show to see him on, something different.
I wonder what's going to happen with this character on Glee then.
I know. I'm a little worried. I hope that he still can, like, sporadically come in and do it. I know that, like, on Scandal, they have people who kind of go and guest on other things as well. So hopefully he'll be able to come back and at least be on Glee a little bit. And then Jane Lynch did an interview with Parade Magazine, and she's talking about how she's a homebody and, you know, just wants to be home and not, like, out doing crazy things, not in the Hollywood scene. You know, with my own little thoughts, my own little corner, my own little chair. And I was just like, that's really cute.
Cinderella.
Exactly. And she kind of says that the thing that distinguishes, like, Sue Sylvester from other characters is that she has all these anger management issues, but that she's, like, really struggling to control it. And you see that with her. So I thought that was really interesting. And yeah, you can check out more of that interview in Parade Magazine. So it's really fun.
Yeah, and Jane Lynch doesn't seem like the person who would go out, and hit up the town.
No, not at all.
Can't really picture that.
No, I think she, is married and they have a child and all of that. So it's definitely one of those things. And she's also talking about how she's never in the loop with Glee things. Like, she didn't remember Ricky Martin guest starred. She was like, oh my gosh, it's you. Like, and she didn't know that was happening in advance. And even he turned to her and said, like, this was announced 3 weeks ago. Like, how did you not know this? So she doesn't necessarily stay up to date on the Glee gossip. So she may not be the best person to go to for Glee spoilers.
For news and stuff.
Exactly. Glee spoilers. Jane Lynch will not give them out to you.
That's
Ready
funny.
to do some predictions?
Yeah, let's do it.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay, so I actually have a few predictions.
Okay. I like it.
I think Rachel is pregnant. Or or maybe she has a false pregnancy or hysterical pregnancy. That would be interesting. You see her, she's breaking down. Maybe it's just out of pure nervousness, and maybe she's freaking out over the fact that she could be pregnant. With just hearing that news about Mike O'Malley?
Mike O'Malley.
Mike O'Malley. If he's being cast in the show, what's going to happen with his character? Maybe something's going to happen with him and with Bert and his cancer.
Hope
maybe as painful as it is to say, maybe his character will take a turn for the worse.
Right.
And
it's logical to think that way, for sure.
And he might get killed off. Oh, that'd be terrible. And another thing, you see in the previews that movies, like romantic movies that they're doing. I saw a little, 1.5 seconds of Moulin Rouge. I don't even remember who the characters were singing, but I just saw two people singing together on top of what looks like an elephant, and I just thought Moulin Rouge, which is one of my all-time favorite musical movies. Yeah. And I have a poster in that in my room, not gonna lie. So I'm actually really, really excited for the movie episode. I think Emma and Will still get back together.
All right.
Oh, that was a lot.
I have some disagreement with you, I have to say.
All right.
I think Rachel will not be pregnant in the end.
Okay.
I think what it will do, though, is force her to kind of confront her true feelings, because she'll start thinking about who she would want the father of her child to be, and that will ultimately be Finn, not Brody, who's keeping all these secrets. Finn's always been relatively truthful with her. There's been some things along the road, but he was in high school, and now he's really stepping forward, so I hope that that's where that's leading. And in terms of Blaine and Kurt, I think Blaine is going to fight to the death for Kurt. I think he's not giving up anytime soon. I don't think he's going to walk away from that relationship. And I hope that his father survives. And that could be actually the thing that pushes him back to Blaine, because you go back to the things that are comfortable when you're going through tough stuff.
You go back to the people you need to talk to.
Yeah. So
what do you think is going to happen with Quinn and Santana?
That's so hard for me. I feel like Quinn's gonna get over it. She's gonna, okay, I experimented and I'm moving on. It might not be, they might do it a few more times or hang out a few more times, but she's gonna move on and be really embarrassed by it, because that's kind of the way we've seen her character be. And so it'll be interesting to see how Santana handles that. I'm not sure if she'll be like, oh, I get it, or she'll be really hurt because she's already been hurt by Brittany.
Yeah, I agree. I think Quinn will quickly get over it, but Santana, she has love for females, and I think it's going to affect Santana more emotionally than it would with Quinn.
And I'm really excited because also in that preview with that amazing movie episode, we are having the 500th musical performance, which is huge. And I
wonder what song it is. I don't know yet, but I remember a couple of weeks ago the Glee cast were tweeting out, we're working on the 500th number right now, and I'm like, oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy to think that they've done 500 songs on that show. But I love them, and it'll be so exciting to see that. I hope it is a huge number.
Oh, you know it's gonna be big.
Yeah, I mean, I want everyone involved, and like all the couples and all of it. So that's what I'm excited for. I mean, I know it's not a prediction, but I'm very, very excited for that.
Do you think the 500th number would be a mashup or one straight song?
I think it's gonna be a classic.
Okay.
I from the rumors I'm hearing, I think it's gonna be a classic. So.
All right.
Yeah, so it'll be good to see that. And if you have an opinion of what you think the 500th song is, or you've heard something different, you can tweet at AFTERBUZZ TV or me at Stephanie Wenger.
And I am on Twitter. Thank you, Martin. I'm on Twitter and on Instagram at Serafini TV.
Exactly, and thank you so much for watching and spending your Valentine's Day with us.
Happy Valentine's Day.
So much fun.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's great.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later, Glee!